Hi there friends, I'm Shom and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about how does manifestation occur? How does it work? What is the process? What is happening out there? How does reality work, right? Now, you have a life right now, and in that life, you have certain people in your life, you have a certain job, the circumstances you are in, the experiences you're attracting, all of that is in your real life, in your reality, right? And now you want something else, you want a new reality, so you want to go from this old reality to the new one. But to do that, you have to understand how reality actually works. Okay, and for this I'm going to bring in one Bible scripture which says, as within, so without, as above, so below, which means that the emphasis here is your inner world. What you see out there is only a projection, it's only an image, it's only a reflection, it's a mirage, it's not true. Okay? The source of anything happening out there originates in your own mind, which is the source. So let's get that out of the way, that in order to change your reality, in order to do or anything or have anything in your life, you need to first originate that from the source, which is your own mind. Okay? And that's the concept number one. The second concept that is very important to understand in the whole process of manifestation is that you don't attract the things or the people or circumstances or the job that you desire. No, you will always attract who you are, who you truly are, who you think you are, who you believe you are, your true identity, right? Whoever that whatever meaning you have given to anything, that whoever you are being is what you will attract more of. Okay, so now having said that, now we understand the two concepts very clearly. One is that in order to change your reality, you need to start working on the inner concept of your own self concept. And second is that your identity will dictate the people you have, the relationships you have, the experiences and the circumstances of your life, right? Once you have that solid understanding, obviously, number one thing is accountability, right? It's the biggest thing out there, hugest. Okay, so you have to take responsibility of changing it now, because you can, and I'm going to show you how. Now, let's start by expanding a little bit more on identity, okay? Because that is the original one, right? Whoever you are, you will attract. So let's understand how this reality and identity actually work together in order for you to get the better life or the new life that you desire. Okay? Now, understand this as a cycle. Okay? So original source is you, okay? And you have a certain thought and perception or a belief in mind, or let's say a story that you're telling yourself, the inner conversation, the inner dialogue, the inner thoughts, constantly whenever we see something in the 3D, in the outer world, we are building a perception about it. We are giving it a certain meaning. Okay? Say, for example, you step out of the house and it starts raining. This is my example, by the way. So you step out of the house and it starts raining. And then you tell yourself, oh, this rain, it always rains when I step out. There, you gave yourself a story. You gave that incident a meaning. The same person, say me on the other hand, will step out on the road and say, it's always going to be dry. Whenever I step out, the rain stops for me. Okay? Even though it's still raining. So it's the two people will give different meaning to the same incident, right? The sun rises for everybody. The rain is there for everybody. But two people can give totally two different meaning to it. So it's whatever meaning you are giving to this outer incident becomes your inner world dialogue, becomes your thought. Now, what happens when you say that thing? When I say, so this is what has happened in my life. I don't even remember when I started doing this, but I always used to talk in my own favor. Always do that. Always, whenever you catch yourself thinking about something, give meaning in your own favor. So I would always say, God, I'm stepping out. Please make the rain stop. I don't have an umbrella right now. Please make it go away. And then I would do a little quick visualization, not like active visualization or sitting to meditate for it. It's like a quick thing in the head, right? That I'm stepping out, it's going to be dry. The roads are still, the streets are still wet, but I don't have an umbrella and it's a nice dry time. And then when I reach my destination, maybe it starts pouring again. Then what happens is, it will start appearing in the outer because it's a mirror of your inner. It has to. Understand this. Your inner will reflect in the outer. So if you have fed this new story in your head, now that will reflect in the outer world. It will show up. And then if you're still in the belief that, oh, it always rains when I go out, you will miss observing when it hasn't rained when you went out, right? So your awareness totally shifts. Your awareness goes from it always rains when I step out to it never rains when I step out. When I decide to come out of the house, it stops raining. And that is the awareness that you're with. Now you will start observing it. Now it will happen more times. It will happen more frequently. And then that becomes it's like a proof. Oh, I said this and now see what happened? It actually happened. So that becomes my new belief. Okay? And now this becomes a cycle. As within, so without. As within, so without. And whatever without becomes the cycle opposite. Like I see this, I observe this, now it becomes more, solidifies my own story even more, right? So now it's going to be a constant cycle till the time that it becomes complete belief. And till date, this is happening to me all the time. I decide to step out, it always stops raining. Even on the stormiest days, guys, it's just is that way. Over time, there has been times when I say this and it still starts raining a little bit. I said, that's fine, God, and then I give it a new meaning. I said, there are countries and places where rain is needed. So it comes from a generous feeling, it doesn't feel like I'm missing out or I'm frustrated, I'm getting drenched. No, it's a different meaning that I give to that rain when, it's the opposite. I said, God is doing that for a reason. Some people actually need it. And so it's okay. And then I continuously go in my head that, no, when I step out, it stops raining. And it completely does. And now it's so funny. And I have so much confidence. Why? Because of this cycle. I told myself a story. It showed up a few times. It made me believe more. And the cycle goes on. And now it's like, I'm confident about it. I am that person now who steps out and the rain stops for me, So that's just one example of how this identity works, how this, now that has become part of my identity. Similar to this, there's so many more success stories in my own life. My whole life, I feel, is like a manifestation journey, since 2012, since I first came across The Secret. I read the book and then watched the movie, but for 2 years after that, 2012 to 2014, I was constantly seeking the answer. It can't be that simple. Ask, believe, receive. There's some steps missing, some processes missing, and I've been studying this like crazily, right? So anyways, my whole life, my jobs, my interviews, like if before I go for an interview, I already see myself working there. I'm already interacting with the people there. And even before the interview, I visualize myself as, as if I am interviewing them. That's how it is. Like I put myself on such high pedestal for a job interview. I feel like I want to check this out if this company deserves me, if this company is worthy of having me. That's how much, I value myself when I go for an interview. And most of my interviews, I would say 90% of the time, has always been a huge success. And I've got multiple offers on one particular day. And, all the jobs are just coming in, flowing in so successfully. I don't have to go look. People find me. And that has always been the story I've told myself, that, I will be found. As long as I am doing good work, I will be found. And that's how it has happened. So it's the story, like it'll appear once. At first, it may, and this is like a game, okay? Don't be too serious about it. Don't take things too seriously. Like, do it as a game, as a something that you have fun with, you know? Start with something small. Like, you know, my teammate gets me coffee every time I go to office. Start something small. And then when it happens once, you will believe in it even more, because you'll get evidence. That's how our logical brain works, right? The left side of the brain seeks evidence, seeks validation, seeks proof. And proof will be given because you have said a story on your right hand side, which is your brain, on your creative side, sorry, the God side of you has imagined it. That's your 4D, your mental plane is where you have sown a seed. It has to show up in 3D because that's science. It has to reflect, it's a mirror of you. Okay? And likewise, anything else in your life, whatever is happening in your life, it actually started with a story you were telling yourself, an inner dialogue, a conversation. You're in the shower and you're having this conversation. You're sitting alone and you're having this conversation. The TV is on, but still there is an inner conversation. You're anticipating an argument. You are already conversing in your head how a certain incident is going to happen to you, which is not even there yet. It's in the future. Maybe you have a one-on-one performance review with your boss and you have this dialogue going in and it's all negative, that and it will show up, and that'll give you belief that yes, see, I told you this is going to happen, and it happened because it has to. That's how reality works, right? So before starting this video, really, I spent half a day thinking how I'm going to explain this, and I had this whole notes and everything. But you know what? I just said to myself that I'm going to go with the flow. I'm going to say whatever comes in my mind, however I have experienced reality, however I have understood identity. And people listening to this, it will reach the right audience, and they will understand. And then I just did a little prayer and said, God, make me say this. And here I am, not even referring to my notes even once. So this is my message today, that if you would like to change your life, if you want a certain person in your life, or you want a certain job, you're trying to manifest any of your desires and wants, change who you are, because that's what you will attract, right? And how do you do that? Show, how do you change yourself? Well, it starts with the inner dialogue. Starts here in your mental plane. Understand this, that you cannot attract anything that you are not. You can't keep saying that I am a millionaire till you don't have a millionaire mentality. You may even manifest it. Don't get me wrong. You may get a lottery. You may win a lottery. You won't be able to keep it. You may want to have someone love you back, right? And you may manifest it with all the techniques, the visualization, the meditation, and all those techniques that you do. You will be successful. You know why? Because you have fed that story in your head that if I sit and visualize and write their names 100 times on a piece of paper, they are going to manifest in my life. Guess what? You are always right. That's another concept which I should have cleared in the beginning. You are always right. So if you think that you have to do it in a certain way to get something, that will be proven right as well. So go ahead, write their names 100 times on a piece of paper and you will have them. But then what? Can you keep them in your life? No, because you haven't become this person yet who has them. Okay? So, guys, visualization, manifestation, the word manifestation doesn't go down well with me anymore. I used to call myself a manifestation queen, and I have it somewhere on my Instagram. I call myself manifestation coach because that's the word that people understand. Now, here's a concept, right? So many concepts today. Manifestation means that you don't have it right now. You're trying to get something which you don't have right now. It will never work. If that is your mentality, you may get it and it'll go away again. You will lose it again. Okay? People who go from one relationship to another, they are never able to hold on to what they have. Why? Because they may receive it after doing all the techniques and manifestation and visualization. My story. And then you will lose it again. Okay? And why is that? Because you haven't formed your identity who already has it, not will have it. You have to have it right now. Why? Why Shom right now? Because now is the only true moment that exists. It's so simple. Past, gone. Future, don't know. Right? It does not exist. The past does not exist. The future does not exist. The next minute does not exist. Right? And as this video proceeds, the last 16 minutes of the video does not exist. Okay? So the key to manifesting anything is to have it right now. This is another concept maybe for another video, but the starting point is not to have it to experience it, okay? The starting point to keep something permanently in your life, if you want money or a certain person, you want to keep it, right? You don't want to lose it. So the process for that is to start with the experiencing first, because it's the feeling. When you watch a movie, the movie makers have made the movie, they're gone, the movie is done, it's digital, it's on your TV, you're watching it. But you're feeling those emotions now. So they become real to you now. Okay? Similarly, the story you tell yourself in your head, you are putting emotions in it. You are having an inner dialogue, a conversation. You're building up a story in your head about a certain event that is going to happen. Right? And it will show up exactly that way because you attached an emotion to it. Right? So, experiencing it now is the key. So don't think, when I do my visualization, I used to see myself visualizing this about my dream life 12 months from now. Big red cross. Now in my visualization, that same picture or that same story, I bring it forward. You know, it's like I'm pulling it mentally from the 12-month mark to right now. Like right now, I am experiencing, I am that person right now in this moment. Because guess what? 12 months later or 8 months later or maybe 2 years later, whenever it actually appears in 3D, it will feel like right now. Then why not bring that right now? Now! Don't know if I'm making sense, guys. But this is how I understand manifestation works, is that experiencing it right now in your mental state gives you the feeling. It comes with a little warning. You know, when you desire something, like I always wanted to go to Paris, you know, visit Paris. And as long as it was like a dream and I was fantasizing myself in Paris, I wanted to do a fashion study course there. And, you know, as long as that fantasy is happening in the head, it's so beautiful, isn't it? Like falling in love. Yeah. You think about this person and you start telling stories in your head. You start fantasizing this person in a certain way. And that brings you joy. Why? Because you're living in that story in your head right now. You're not trying to manifest anything, you're enjoying the feeling of it, like a new car. Whenever you go in your mental plane, in your head, you're actually driving that car. You can feel the wind blow your hair, you can feel the wind on your face, and you can feel the steering wheel, and you can feel the speed. You can feel all of this, like the movie in The Secret says. It's the feeling of the thing now in the present moment. That is what is going to speed up the manifestation. Okay, but remember that when two warnings here. One is that once you have experienced this whole thing in your head, they say you have to let it go. It's not possible. That's a very stupid idea, to let it go. I don't like that idea because it makes me feel that it's like, actually, I'm not ready to let it go. I want to experience it, right? So you don't let go. Letting go will automatically happen. You don't need to do something special to let something go. Okay? You need to, it'll happen automatically, right? And it happens to me. It happened to me. Like Paris was something like a dream. And I knew that one day I will go there. It was not like it'll never happen. It's just in my head. That's not the story I said to myself. I said, it's going to happen. I'm going to go. And while I was trying to manifest, or like while I was telling my stories about Paris, New York happened. Another fantasy of mine got ticked off. I got called, and I was working as a backstage dresser in New York Fashion Week. It was all a dream come true. Like I witnessed New York, And then last year, I went to Paris as well. Okay? So the point I'm trying to get across is that you experience it right now, and then when you fully experience it, the joy and the feeling, automatically the craving will go away. The craving will go away automatically. And when that happens, that is called letting go. Okay? So letting go is not a special act that you got to do. Letting go is an outcome that will automatically happen when you have experienced it fully in your 4D plane. So go in there in your head and tell the story as it is, because as you would like it to be. Because sky's the limit. Who's going to stop you from thinking? Your brain, your mind is in your hands. It's in your own control. So go crazy in your head, like you go crazy with all the wrong, bad things. Isn't it? Isn't that what you do? You fall sick a little bit and you tell all these stories in your head. Now it's going to get worse. Look, there's flu going around. Everybody is falling sick. And you haven't seen that happening. Then you call me, show me you're delusional. But aren't you? Being delusional about something that you don't know would happen for sure or not. You look at your bank account and you don't see money there. Oh, I'm going to be broke like this forever. My life sucks. And you just keep telling yourself the story. How do you know future? You are predicting all of these things in your head. You are being delusional about the wrong things. Why not try the opposite? Right? When somebody does the opposite, trying to be delusional about the good stuff, they are called to be living in the fairy tale, in the fantasy world. And I have been called that, like you are in your fairy tale, you always believe in fairy tales, you are in your fantasy world. I won't share the extent of fantasy that I have. I can see a pixie or a gnome coming out somewhere, like a child in my head, right? My question to you is, we both are delusional. If you are the negative thinker, what's so real about it? How can you be so sure? Based on evidence, right? You can say, sure, I know that's going to happen because I've got evidence. Well, now you know how reality works. You know that will show up because you sowed that seed in your head. The story started from your head, from your mental plane. Maybe not knowingly, maybe not consciously. It could be even group consciousness, the culture you are brought up with, that women are supposed to do the household work, men are supposed to go to work and be the provider. Or it could be anything. Oh, I'm an apple shape, so I have to be a certain body shape. Well, these are all collective beliefs that we are fed into our brains, and that keeps manifesting and that keeps showing up, becomes our core belief, becomes us, becomes our true identities, and then we keep on attracting this. So my point is, if you and I are both delusional, who will live a better life? Who has a better chance of manifesting good stuff in their life? The comfort I have now, the freedom of time I have, even the dogs I have in my house, all started here. I wanted a gray dog after I let go of one of my older dogs, again, some situations, I was migrating, I could not keep my dog, and then he was a very unique gray color. A year later, there was a gray dog in my house. There's a gray dog. Cooper must be somewhere here. And then a year later, I wanted to have a white dog. Just white dog. And I have Bunny. Oh, so anything, anything that is happening, just if you have to, we are all delusional because that's the only way we are manifesting anything in our lives. All the realities in our lives right now, the people we have, the bubble we are in, the circumstances, the job, the house, the money, the comfort, the lifestyle, everything started from being delusional about them somewhere in your head. So if that is how it is, then why not start being delusional about the good stuff? Try it, like I told you about the rain. Okay, there's another story that I won't take too much time now, but just something that I'm trying now to, for it to manifest in the 3D is about my hair growth. Okay, so I would like to have more hair on my scalp. Now what I do is, whenever there are flyaways, as you can see, these are flyaways. Some girls will call it, oh, I'm so sick and tired of my flyaways, I need to spray them and they need to just settle down. You know the story I tell? Oh my God, this is like new hair. It's new hair growing. It's hair growth. I can't wait to have the whole thing really grow up. Their baby hair all coming up, and now it's going to grow and it becomes so thick, and then I feel the thickness in my head. Delusional? We'll wait and see, because it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Any pain that I felt, I've had fibroids at one point, and I healed myself through this. Thank you for my healing. Thank you for my healing. And I used to say that to God, like every day I would write a page on thank you for my healing. This is how it is. This is now how it is. And then I got an ultrasound done. And the doctors said, are you sure you had fibroids? I had 4 huge fibroids. Are you sure you ever had fibroids? Because even if fibroids are healed and treated, they leave some sort of a scar which shows up in ultrasound. Guess what? Clean, completely clean, smooth, not a scar. It's not miracles, guys. You may think it's miracle, but it's science. This is how it works. Okay? So whether it's a physical pain, just move your awareness to how you would like it to be. Shift your awareness. So do this, okay? Like a homework, right? Be selective. Be selective of the meaning you give to anything. From now on in your life, you go out there, you see something, catch yourself thinking about that. You have to become aware of what the hell are you thinking inside, and stop that thought if it's negative, right? Reject that thought and then immediately replace it. So reject, replace. I had another video about this. Reject and then replace the story as you would like it to be. Okay? So if I say, oh, flyaways, God, this looks so ugly. reject that idea. I caught myself thinking about it. I reject it and I replace it. Oh, these are all new baby hair that's coming up. God's listening. He's working on this, right? It's all unfolding just the way it should be. Okay? And let anything happen. Doesn't matter. Don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Okay? I know this is how it is. The rain always stops when I'm on the street, or even on a heavily raining day. I will be there and the rain will stop. I want to go for a walk. If I've decided it, it's exactly the moment I step out, the rain stops. And then continuously. So be selective of the meaning you give to anything, okay? Because that will then create your new reality, because now the evidences will be shown to you. It will reflect in your 3D. The evidences will be there, and that will, again, that create that cycle again, okay? You will see the evidence, you will believe it more, okay? And when you believe it more, you will see more evidences. And then this cycle of more and more and more belief, more evidences, more belief, more evidences becomes a part of you, and you become this identity who only attracts that reality. Try with 1 or 2 things. Simple if this is too much for you. For me, this is my entire life. Even starting from, like a small thing on Netflix. My Netflix app wasn't working. And it could be that. Oh, my Netflix is fine. It's just like any other app. It's working fine. And then comes up an error. It starts, going round and round and buffering and not showing up. Doesn't matter. I don't care. I know. Netflix is just as normal as any other app. Okay? And Netflix is like any other app now. Whether it's that or a job that I'm trying to manifest, it's the same thing. It's like getting a cup of coffee or $1 million. It's all the same. Why? Because you are not doing it. You are not in charge. Anyway, we'll talk more about who is doing this and what are the actions to take you from here to there. I want to make a good video on actions, because this is something that I have understood profoundly. I had lots of questions on inspired action, how to take them, when do you know you're in flow, when do you think you should not be doing an action. Like, there's so many questions, and that all got clarity. And I would like to share that in my other video. But for today, this is the end of this video. Thank you so much for being here. If you've stayed for this long, 33 minutes, then you're really serious about this. And if you have any questions, my email is in the description. I'm also available to work with you on a one-on-one basis. Just drop me an email, and I can't wait to see your godliness and your I amness shine. Thank you. Bye-bye.